where the wind keeps its promises. Rose Calder arrives in Ash Hollow as the sun lowers itself carefully behind the hills, as if even the sky does not wish to rush this place. The valley is wide, quiet, and unclaimed by urgency. Wind moves through the grass in long breaths. Rose steps down from the wagon with only her sewing trunk, and a heart still learning how to beat, without breaking. She has not come to begin again, only to rest. Yet something about the land feels patient, as if it has been waiting for her arrival without knowing her name. The cabin is small, weathered, and honest. Rose cleans dust from the windows and finds that the light here enters gently, never harsh. Nights are the hardest. The wind presses against the walls, reminding her how alone she is, but also how far she has come. For the first time since her husband's death, silence does not feel cruel. It feels like space. She sleeps deeply, dreaming not of loss, but of open skies. Matthew Cole notices the smoke from Rose's chimney long before he speaks to her. He watches from a distance, cautious by habit. When they finally meet, it is brief, polite, restrained. His voice is low, his eyes careful. Rose senses grief in him immediately, familiar as her own reflection. He says little, but his silence feels intentional, not empty. She wonders how long he has been alone. Rose begins mending clothes for the valley's few families. One morning, she finds her broken fence repaired. Matthew never mentions it. She leaves, fresh bread on his porch. They begin exchanging kindness without ceremony. Their conversations lengthen, still sparse, but warmer. Time moves differently, around them slower, kinder. Trust grows, not because it is declared, but because it is proven quietly. One evening, as the wind moves steadily through the valley, Rose speaks of her husband. She tells Matthew how illness stole him gently, but completely, leaving her with love that had nowhere to go. Matthew listens without interruption, without offering comfort that would feel hollow. His stillness allows her grief to breathe. She realizes this is the first time she has shared her story without feeling small. Matthew's confession comes later, beneath a darkening sky. A fire, a house, a wife and child who never woke. His voice never wavers, but his hands do. Rose understands then why he never invites people inside. Why he keeps the past at a careful distance. She does not try to heal him. She simply stays. The valley gathers for the first social in years. Lanterns glow softly, casting hope into the night. Matthew hesitates before asking Rose to dance, as if fearing the answer might change everything. When she says yes, the moment feels fragile and sacred. They move slowly, awkwardly, but together. For the first time in years, laughter rises from Ash Hollow. Hope unsettles Rose. She considers leaving, because leaving has always been easier than staying. She tells herself she is protecting her heart. Matthew notices the shift, the quiet withdrawal. For the first time since the fire, he fears losing something he never believed he was allowed to have. A storm traps them together overnight. Wind rattles the walls, rain pounds the roof. Confessions slip out between thunderclaps. They speak not of love, but of fear, of what it costs to care again. In the candlelight, they realize they are no longer alone in their grief. Morning comes clear and calm. Rose stands at the door, decision heavy in her chest. She stays. Matthew reaches for her hand, not urgently, but certainly. It feels like a vow formed without words. They begin learning each other's rhythms. How Matthew rises before dawn. How Rose hums while sewing. Affection grows in glances, in shared labor, in quiet evenings. Love does not arrive. Suddenly it settles, like something meant to stay. New families arrive. Laughter returns. Rose opens a small sewing room. Matthew teaches children to ride, not to run. Ash Hollow begins to breathe again, shaped by gentleness rather than survival. At sunset, Matthew offers Rose a simple band, worn smooth by time. No speech, no kneeling. Only truth. She says yes, with tears and a steady heart. Years pass quietly. Grief remains, but no longer rules them. Love has made room for memory without pain. They are not healed, but they are whole. Standing on the ridge at dusk, Rose and Matthew watch the valley they chose. The wind moves gently, now no longer restless, but faithful. This place did not save them. They saved each other. The valley wakes slowly, just as it always has. Morning light drapes itself across Ash Hollow, soft and unhurried. Rose stands by the window with her sewing in her hands, though she has not taken a stitch in several minutes. Outside, Matthew moves through the pasture. Steady and sure, the man the land seems to recognize now as its own. They have learned this rhythm, together, the gentle passing of hours. The quiet that no longer aches. The wind moves through the grass. Familiar and kind, no longer restless as it once was. It carries no warnings now, only memory. Matthew comes inside with the scent of earth still on him. He presses a kiss to Rose's temple, the kind that speaks of years, not urgency. Once, love frightened them both. Now, it feels like shelter. They sit together at the table, hands entwined, watching the light shift across the floor. Rose thinks of the woman she was when she first arrived, careful, unwilling to hope. Matthew thinks of the man who believed silence was safer than joy. Neither of them is that person anymore. Outside, the valley hums with life they helped restore. Children's laughter drifts on the breeze. Doors stand open. Smoke rises from chimneys that once stood cold. As evening falls, they walk to the ridge where the wind always lingers. Matthew wraps his arm around Rose, and she rests her head against his shoulder. They say nothing. They do not need to. The wind passes over them, gentle and faithful. It keeps every promise they made to stay, to remember, to love again.